So for now, I'm going to discuss to you activity 1, question number 1, which is I'm going to use a programming language, C or C++. In this code, we are performing a series of calculation and iteration to achieve a certain result. Let's break down each part of the code to understand what it does and how it contributes to overall process. We start with j equals 0 as a starting point for our calculation. Using mathematical formula, we calculate the initial value of k. This formula takes the current value of j, adds 13 to it, and then divide the result by 27. Variable I will be used for storing any intermediate result of a calculation. Now let's enter into a loop that will continue under a certain condition to meet. This condition is evaluated at the beginning of each loop iteration. We use a while loop with the condition true, which means the loop will continue indefinitely until explicit stop with a break statement. Inside the loop, we will check the current value of k greater than 10. If it is, we exit the loop immediately using the break statement. The break statement ensures the loop stop iteration once the condition is met. If the condition k greater than 10 is not met, we proceed the next step inside the loop. We increment the value of k by 1 in each iteration of the loop. The statement is sure to move the closer to the condition where k becomes greater than 10. And eventually the loop will terminate. We calculate the value of it based on the current value of k. This calculation involves multiplying k by 3 and then subtracting 1. The result is stored in variable I. Code after the loop resume here. It will execute after the loop terminates. Finally, the program ends in execution.
Hi, it's me, Catherine. I'll demonstrate the program in a Java programming language in Final Project 1. Let's begin. First line, this line initializes an integer variable k with a value of j plus 13 divided by 27, where j is assumed to be previously defined. This calculation is done to set up the initial value of k. Second line, this line starts a while loop that continues as long as the condition k less than 10 is true. This means the loop will continue executing as long as the value of k is less than or equal to 10. Third line, inside the loop, k is incremented by 1 in each iteration. This ensures that the loop will eventually terminate when k becomes greater than 10. Fourth line, within each iterations of the loop, a new integer variable I is initialized with the value of 3 times k minus 1. This line calculates a new value for I based on the current value of k. And the loop continues to execute until the condition k less than 10 became false.
So for now, I'm going to discuss to you about activity 1, which is question number 3, which is I'm going to use programming language which is Python. So for first line, which is j is equals to 0, we initialize the variable j to 0. This sets the starting point for our calculations. Then for the next line, which is k is equals to j plus 13 divided by 27. We calculate the value of k using the formula j plus 13 divided by 27. Since j is initially 0, so k becomes 0 plus 13 divided by 27, which evaluates to approximately almost 0.40. And for the next line, which is I is equals to 0, so for this line, we initialize the variable I to 0. This variable will be updated later in the loop. Then for the next line, which is while true, we start an infinite loop. This loop will continue indefinitely until a break statement is encountered. So for another line, which is if k is less than to 10, within a loop, we check if the value of k is greater than 10. Then for the break, if k is indeed greater than 10, we exit the loop immediately using the break statement. So for the next line, which is k is equals to k plus 1, if k is not greater than 10, we increment its value by 1. Then also, for I is equals to 3 times k minus 1, we calculate the value of using the formula 3 times k minus 1. This updates the value of I based on the current value of k. So the loop repeats from steps 5 onwards until the condition k is greater than almost to 10. So this stop the loop, which is once k exceeds to 10, the loop breaks and the program exceeds the loop. So for summary, this code initializes variable j, k, and I, enters an infinite loop, increments k by 1, and each iterations calculate I based on the updated value of k, and breaks out of the loop once k surpasses 10. So I'm going to discuss to you which language for this code has the best writability, the best readability, and the best combination of the two. So for writability, Python still shines in writability here due to its concise syntax and ease of expressing arithmetic operations. The code can be written within minimal effort and in a fewer lines compared to C and C++ and also in Java. So for readability, Python maintains its advantage in readability, its clean syntax, and So for writability, Python still shines in writability here due to its concise syntax and ease of expressing arithmetic operations. The code can be written within minimal effort and in a fewer lines compared to C or C++ and Java. And also, for readability, Python maintains its advantage in readability. Its clean syntax and lack of unnecessary punctuation make the code easy to understand. Additionally, Python's annotation-based block structure promotes readability by visually indicating the program's control flow. Then, for the combination, which is Python remains the best choice for this code. So, as it offers the optimal combinations of writability and readability, its simplicity and clean syntax makes the code straightforward to write and understand, making the preferred language for this scenario.
So for now, I'm going to discuss to you Activity 2 Question 1. So for now, I'm going to use a C or C++ language. This line begins a switch statement that evaluates the value of variable key. The switch statement will execute the corresponding case block based on the value of key. Case 1. This line specifies a case for when key is equal to 1. If key is 1, execution will fall through to the next case statement since there is no break here. Case 2. The line specifies a case for when key is equal to 2. Since there is no break statement after case 1, both case 1 and 2 will execute following block. This line determines the current case block. It prevents the execution from falling through to subsequent case. Case 3. This line specifies a case for when key is equal to 3. If key is 3, execution will fall through to the next case statement since there is no break here. Case 5. The line specified case for when key is equal to 5 since there is no break statement after case 3. Both case 3 and 5 will execute to the following block. Case 5. This line specifies a case for when key is equal to 5 since there is no break statement after case 3, both case 3 and 5 will execute the following block. If k is 3 or 5, this line set the value of k to 3 times k plus 1. For example, if k is 5, j will be set to 16. If k is 3 or 5, this line set this value of g to 3 times k plus 1. For example, if k is 5, j will be set of 16. Break. This line determine the current case block, which prevent the execution from falling through to subsequent cases.
Hello again, it's me, Catherine. I'll demonstrate the program in a Java programming language in Final Project 2. Let's begin. It checks the value of variable k against certain condition. If k is equal to 1 or 2, it assigns the value of 2 times k minus 1 to variable j. If k is equal to 3 or 5, it assigns the value of 3 times k plus 1 to variable j. If k is equal to 4, it assigns the value of 4 times k minus 1 to variable j. If k is equal to 6, 7, or 8, it assigns the value of k minus 2 to variable j. If k doesn't match any of this condition, the value of j remains unchanged. That's all. Thanks.
So for now, I'm going to discuss you about activity 2, which is question number 3, which is I'm going to also use a programming language, which is Python. So for condition check for k is equals to 2 or k is equals to 1, if the value of k is equals to 1 or 2, then the code enters this block. It calculates the value of using the expression 2 times k minus 1. For example, if k is 1, then j becomes 1. And also, if k is 2, then j becomes 3. Then condition check for k is equals to 3 or k is equals to 5. If the previous condition was not met and k is equals to 3 or 5, the code enters this block. It calculates the value of j using the expression 3 times k plus 1. For instance, if k is 3, then j becomes 10. And if k is 5, then j becomes 16. Then condition check for k is equals to 4. If neither of the previous condition was met and k is equals to 4, the code entered this block. It calculates the value of j using the expression 4 times k minus 1. For example, if k is 4, then j becomes 15. Then condition check for k is equals to 6 or k is equals to 7, or also k is equals to 8. If none of the previous conditions were met and k is equals to 6, 7, and 8, 6, 7, or 8 the code enters this block. It calculates the value of j using the expression k minus 2. For instance, if k is 6, then j becomes 4. Then if k is 7, then j becomes 5. And also, if k is 8, then j becomes 6. Then that's the end of execution. After evaluating the conditions, the code assigns the appropriate value to j based on the value of k. Then, if k does not match any of the specified conditions, j remains unchanged from its previous value.
So for now, I'm going to discuss to you activity 3, which I'm going to use C or C++ language. Initialize j. Loop through from 0 to 2. Switch statement. Case where j plus 2 is 3 or 2. Decrement j. Break out of the switch statement, case where j plus 2 is 0. Increment by 2. Break out of the switch statement default case. Check if J is positive. Break out of the loop. Calculate new value. Print final value. And the execution is end.